folks, welcome back. Toronto Humane Society, joined with Claire Blumenthal. Thank you so much for joining us today. And you know us, obviously, the Soaring Prophets boys. Very cool project working today with the Malcolm Project, putting books out, putting a fundraiser for young people, young individuals.
So I'm going to tell you it's the Benjamin Project. Malcolm is the guy who runs the Benjamin Project. But
it's been a long day. Close.
You know, I'm sure the Malcolm Project is a lovely project that's doing great things. But in our case,
Benjamin,
we're doing the Benjamin Project.
Benjamin.
And, 1,000 trees, the great Lisa.
We'll get there.
I don't know if you met Lisa.
I have once or twice. Yeah. Well, folks, again, we have Claire Blumenthal. I'm going to move on quickly from that. And kind of a unique thing, trainer.
Yes.
So you're training animals, you're training people, you're training animals to train people. How does this work?
That doesn't make any sense. Isn't this Humane Society? Why would they have animal trainers?
We're learning lots of things.
Yeah. So I mostly train people.
Good.
Train their dogs.
Good.
So I work with the public training department.
You know Malcolm?
So I don't know Malcolm, unfortunately, but maybe I'll get to know him later today.
Yeah. We have fun doing it at least. We've been joking a little bit, but kind of serious here. Mm-hmm. We are Toronto Humane Society. This is something kind of piloting that, we don't see a lot of this in other agencies, and that seems to be a trend with all the other people that we've interviewed so far today. Mm-hmm. You folks are breaking ground. You're jumping into kind of uncharted territories. Why are you training animals? I thought animals are coming into this organization because they've got a problem at home. Maybe they're unruly. Why are you training these animals? Isn't that
the humans?
Well, yeah.
So we offer training services, group classes, and private sessions to the public. So anybody who would like to do dog training with us is welcome. We focus a lot on preventative care. So we want to provide services to make sure that animals stay in their homes with their people, and so that we have less animals coming into the shelter.
So is behavior a big reason why you're seeing animals being surrendered?
It can be, absolutely. Okay. A lot of people can get very overwhelmed with, their animal's behavior depending on what's going on at home. Especially in a big city, there's a lot of obstacles in raising, especially dogs in a large city. It's a very overwhelming kind of environment, and dogs need particular skills to be able to kind of thrive in the city. So we strive to provide classes and services that will really give people those skills to train their dogs and feel confident handling their dogs in the, busy city environment or the suburbs if that's where they live. Whatever they're looking for in terms of services.
So if my dog's a barker and I'm in a residence that it's not effective because they're barking all the time, or I'm out in the community and they maybe go to attack other dogs or anything like that, I'm sorry to tell you, it's usually a human error. Dogs are not known to be like that. What it is, wouldn't you find that? Like, what do you think about that?
There's a lot of things that go into behavior.
Look at her with the political.
Always going
I
to
don't
be.
Have that.
There's always going to be a big genetic component with a lot of behavioral issues that we see, and of course, there's going to be the environmental component. So their home environment, their people, the training they've done, all that kind of stuff. But you never really know what you're going to get with any individual dog, and there's so many variables that go into creating the personality and behavior that they end up expressing.
Right.
So I have Pat. He's my pet. And I bring him, and he just is
off-leash
unruly.
Today. Yeah.
And no, but he maybe has behavior. Maybe he happens to be someone who bites or something like that. What does that look like? I come to you and go, I don't know. Every time someone walks into my house, he instead of greets them at the door, he starts biting at them and stuff. What do I do? What does that look like?
Well, so
only you loved me a little more.
Every plan is going to be unique to the person and pet that we're talking about. But first step to talk about is always going to be how we can immediately manage and make things safer for everyone. And once we can get some of those strategies into place and make sure that people are safe around their animals and their animals are safe around them, then we can start working on some training to change the way that.
What does that mean, safe around? Because I wouldn't think my animal would hurt me. Are you meaning like that, or what do you mean by safe for that?
So some management strategies to go with the biting example. Mm-hmm. So if you have a dog that's not a polite greeter at the door, or we can't really trust them all the time around strangers. There's lots of things we can kind of put into place to make sure that we stay safe in those situations. Yeah. Often it looks like using things like a crate or an X-pen to keep them separated. Muzzle training is always an excellent idea, just to make sure that there's that barrier in between the animal and the human, so that we can ensure safety and prevent any, bad accidents from happening.
So just like humans, there are multiple various ways of detecting the problem, but there's also various solutions depending on why the dog is doing that, or the cat, or the bunny. So
attack bunnies.
Do you do the work here? Do you do the work on site?
Primarily
How does that
here,
work?
yeah. We offer all of our group training classes are on site here, and most of our private behavior consultations also take place on site here, but we also offer virtual sessions as well.
That's awesome.
So if people aren't able to do the commute into the shelter, or maybe their animal is too stressed to make the journey in, and therefore having a virtual session is going to be much more effective for everyone. Yeah. And occasionally we will do some like on-site in the community services depending on needs. So we really try to kind of serve our community as best as we can and provide, the services that are going to best serve each individual person and unique situation.
So Claire, you've been here with Toronto Humane Society for a while now, and you could open your own practice. You could be doing this all over the country. Why?
Caesar makes millions of dollars.
And if you need somebody to put some video work together, if you decide to go the Caesar Milan route, you know a guy.
Give us a call.
Yeah.
We're not a big fan of Caesar Milan.
No, but
I was just using him as an example. There's a guy who makes a lot of money
absolutely.
being a behaviorist for animals. So you, like he's saying,
why Toronto Humane Society? Again, there's lots of other avenues for someone with your skill set to go out and market themselves. What is it about Toronto Humane Society that was a selling factor for you when you're applying here?
There's quite a few things that I really love about this organization. In terms of the kind of greater mission of Toronto Humane Society, I am also very passionate of providing affordable and accessible services to the community, and quality services to the community. Another piece is dog training. Many people don't know is a completely unregulated industry, and so there are absolutely no rules around who's allowed to call themselves a dog trainer, behavior professional. Here at Toronto Humane Society, all of our trainers have multiple certifications, and we strive for continuing education, evidence-based practice, and it's really wonderful to work for an organization that has a platform to be able to really share that with the community, because it's really hard to find good trainers, evidence-based trainers, and trainers who really have the animals and the people's best interests in mind. So to be able to work with an organization that can provide those kind of services to the community and make them accessible and affordable is really fantastic.
Well, it certainly seems like Toronto Humane Society, and again with the Benjamin Project, not the Malcolm Project, the Benjamin Project, you're seeing, organizations coming together, different community initiatives that are being put on. Again, we're celebrating the 135th anniversary of the shelter. Mm-hmm. This is not a new idea, but the implementation of what you folks are doing seems to be kind of that leading edge, the cutting edge of what's coming next. What would you say to some of people that are out there? Because we're probably going to get some reach into other shelters that are watching this. Mm-hmm. So what would you say? What are some advice that you would say in the training aspect, maybe even the organizational side of it, to continue making that path down that suits the animals, suits the people, and again, at the end of the day, suits the community? Because if people aren't doing what you're doing, we have a very dangerous potential community out there with dogs that are aggressive. Yeah. It's a big problem. Mm-hmm. So what sort of advice would you have for organizations out there?
Just from a training and behavior perspective, always looking at the preventative side of things and providing people with quality advice from puppyhood right through raising your dog to adulthood, so that people have the right information and are responding to their dog's behavior in a way that's not going to cause more issues.
Right.
And really focusing on, providing that type of information and knowledge to the community so that we can ensure that people feel confident in raising and being around their animals. Yes.
Making sure it's a partnership.
Yes.
Right? Because I could imagine nothing worse than coming home from work every day wondering if my dog's going to bite me.
Yeah.
Like that is a very short-term relationship. Mm-hmm. So I think it's beautiful what you folks are doing here. You're saving more dogs' lives than probably anyone else here on the vet side because of
I don't
what.
know about that.
But because of what you're doing.
True.
If I can't go home and feel safe in my house, my children, those dogs are in a very precarious position.
And if I think my only option is to get rid of my dog, whereas you may still love your dog even though it bites you every once in a while. Or it bites your friend, or it bites someone else. That's a very dangerous situation when you can't trust your dog.
Yeah.
And if you're there to help at no cost, right? There's no.
We do offer subsidized, fully subsidized, or partially subsidized for different situations, and we do get quite a lot of clients coming in with large behavior concerns, possibly looking to surrender because they don't know where to go next. And our first step is always to defer to a behavior consultation and see what we can do to help them keep that animal in their home and make their life harmonious again with their pet, so that we can prevent that animal from having to be in the shelter and also prevent that person from having to lose a best friend.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's the number one thing we've learned here, that it just still blows my mind that you guys aren't about separating animals from their owners.
That is the worst case scenario.
Yeah. Your first thing to do is to let's see how we can get you to keep them. And I think that's fabulous.
Absolutely.
Say the other side. So I want to volunteer in the behavior field at the Toronto Humane Society. Mm-hmm. Do I need a degree? Do I need to, what would I be doing?
So we have quite a lot of volunteers that volunteer with our public training services, and they assist us with the group classes, helping those run really smoothly. And so our volunteers will come in for their shifts and help just make sure that all of our clients in the classes have everything they need. They're there to assist our instructors to make sure, that client needs water over there, or, hey, can you help me out with, this dog, we need an extra set of hands over here. So it's really wonderful having our volunteers, and it's fantastic. We get a lot of people who want to build a career in the behavior field, and so this is kind of where they come to start seeing, what is it that they want in terms of types of training or behavior that they want to get into. So starting with helping out with some classes is always a really fun way to do that.
I love it. Well, folks, again, Claire Blumenthal, one of the head trainers here, really doing a fantastic job of keeping animals in their homes and making it a safer environment for all of us. Claire, I want to thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so
it's
much
a pleasure.
for having me.
It's our pleasure, because at the end of the day, not enough people know what you folks do. And for us to be able to come in here, we enjoy this sort of thing. So when we get lovely people like yourself that will give us a couple minutes of your time to explain what you do so the rest of the society can dive into it a bit, I love it.
And again, all these people we're interviewing, this is their day off.
They're here. It's crazy.
They made a trip, some of them from far away, just to sit down for 15 minutes with us, that's how much they care. That's how much we should all care, because of the job they're doing to keep pets and owners together.
Love it.
It's unbelievable. Please check them out. Please check us out. 1,000 Trees.
Benjamin Project.
Project.
I'll get that the next time. Yeah.
Thanks for watching.